Hello and welcome to Girl Dharma. My name is Christina, and today I am talking with a new friend named Delaney. Um, they hopped out of the room, so I'm just waiting for them to come back. But while I am waiting, I am going to introduce today's episode. Today's episode is on community, which has been so big in my life, um, and which is how I thought to invite my friend Delaney for this conversation because they've made a lot of content on community in their lives. So I hope you enjoy. I say welcome to Girl Dharma. This is Delaney. You are my first guest on the podcast. So if there's technical
Yay!
difficulties, we'll have to just figure it out, as we go. Um, do you want to introduce yourself now?
My name is Delaney. I'm 20 years old. I'm a creative and artist with a preference for literature and visual arts. I'm also an academic. I really enjoy learning new things in general, but especially theoretical concepts like relating to feminism and history. I'm also pretty spiritual. I dabble off and on in witchcraft and divination tools, mostly tarot. And I just really enjoyed thinking about things and unpacking like the meaning behind life. Um, I'm also a Pisces. So yeah.
Ooh, ooh, I
Yes.
love Pisces. Pisces have like good energy
Did
to
we
them.
wait, did we talk about astrology last time?
Did we? No, I don't think we did.
What's your sign?
I'm an Aries.
Oh, no, we didn't talk about that.
Why do you have something against Aries?
I don't know. I haven't met a lot of Aries, to be honest.
You know what's funny? I only when I started asking people, like, oh, what is your astrological sign? Everyone is an Aries or a Pisces, and that's it. Those are the only
Really?
people I know. My partner is a Leo, so he's full of himself
Uh-huh.
all the time, but everyone
Yeah,
else is
yeah.
an Aries or a Pisces. So,
Wait, that's so funny. But then
so
we
maybe
probably
they
have
only live around me. Maybe that's it.
it's because they say that like the sign that you meet like are surrounded by the most is like the thing you need to learn the most. I personally know like a lot of Geminis.
I don't know anything about astrology, so what does that mean you need to
Really?
learn?
Like it could be like they say like oh like if you like know a lot of Pisces, it could be like they're helping you be like more creative or like more imaginative
Mm,
or maybe like more in tune with your emotions or something like that. Um yeah, it just depends on the sign.
what about Geminis? What do you have to learn if you're around Geminis?
Uh, Geminis. I don't know. I feel like Geminis are very like spontaneous. They're very like
Okay.
outgoing. Um, yeah, I don't know. But like almost pretty much like almost a lot of people in my family are Geminis.
Really?
And I'm like one of the only water signs in my family.
Wow. And you went to art school and you
Yeah.
started the artist way. I mean, like, so is everyone else in your family also very creative, or is it just you would say you're the most
Not
creative?
really. Or like it's like sporadic.
So how do we know each other, Delaney? You want to try to?
Yeah, we met on TikTok. Your video was actually one of the first videos I saw on my For You page when
Oh
I
wow,
started
that's
my new
crazy.
account. And you were talking about the artist way. Yeah. And so I just commented. And then, yeah. And then I think just from there, we started like liking each other's videos
Hmm.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's so every time I'm like, oh yeah, like this is a person I've just met on TikTok and we're gonna chat together later. People are like, "Hmm." I'm like, no, 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 it's not weird. It's not weird, guys, I
Right?
promise. I love the content you create. The content you create is so refreshing. Everything else I see on my For You page is like the same. Everyone's following the same scripts. Everyone's like, oh, I used AI to do this. Look at my cute thing
Mm.
I did with AI. Look at my art. It's AI, and it's like, you're like, I'm
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
a book review. I'm doing a speaking challenge. There was something you said and maybe it was like a theme almost, like it went over a
Yeah.
couple times where you were talking about how community has changed for you and you have friends where you're this way with these friends and you're this way with other friends and that you like you had thoughts on it,
Mm.
and I mean, I can tell you already that like that's not a unique experience. Lots of people I think feel that same way. But not a lot of people are talking about it. That's why I was like, wait, community has been big for me this year too. I'm like we should talk about this. And so on our discovery call we got to kind of know each other a little bit better. And I gave you just like a little question to contemplate. And that was, what did
Hmm.
community mean to you as a child?
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like as a child, well, I'm like a very shy person. I don't know if this comes across in my videos, but like I like have had social anxiety like my whole life. And I feel like because of that and like different circumstances, like my whole life I've had like I wouldn't say trouble, but like the friendships and community in my life like changes a lot. Like it's very fluid. And I feel like generally like community as like a child or like when you're a child is just very fluid in general. But I feel like I also have like a lot of experience because I grew up in a predominantly white town, obviously as a person of color. And so I have like kind of like mixed feelings about community because I have experience where a community can like backfire on you in a way. Like you can like rely on community, but I think also community can also become something that's very restrictive. It's not something you always choose, especially as a child, because you don't get to choose like where you grow up and you don't get to choose like what school you go to.
Yeah, I would agree with you. So little Delaney, very shy. Um, would you say that's
Mhm.
true for Delaney now? Also very shy, less
Yeah.
shy,
Yeah,
more
I would
shy?
say so, but I would say like I'm not like as shy, but I'm still shy. I would say I'm more quiet now
Okay.
than shy.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
yeah.
I would agree with that for myself. I was shy to a fault. Like if an adult spoke, I
Yeah.
had a middle school teacher who called me Christine. And when she figured out she was calling me the
Hmm.
wrong name, she got mad at me. And she was like, you have to speak up. And I
Yeah.
was too shy to even be like, what? So I was like,
No, that's happened to me before.
that is so funny.
I
Uh,
remember like I was in cross country for 3 years in middle school, and the whole 3 years they had my last name wrong, and I never told them.
oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if shyness is something like people, I don't know if it's something you necessarily grow out of, or you just find people where you can be less shy around. When you're in elementary school or even middle school, for me, it was middle school. Middle school is awful. I hated it. But when you're like a little bit younger and you're like you're in school, you're right. You don't get to choose your school. You don't get to choose your community. And so you're around people that you're like, wait,
Mhm.
I don't want to talk to these people. And so when you get older, you kind of get to pick and choose. And so I'm not sure if being shy is something we really grow out of, or we're just like, I don't like talking around you, so I'm just gonna leave. For me, my first best friend was a girl named Talia, and she is not someone I kept in touch with after I want to say middle school. But I love that she was just so well liked by everyone. I was like, I must also like her. And she really was so incredibly kind. And now as an adult, she has like a real, like she's like a real adult. She's like got a family, you know? So I do feel a little disconnected from her on that part, but it is interesting to realize that as a shy person, there were still people who wanted to talk to me, you know, and wanted to be my friend. And so that was really nice. And I'm interested in hearing your standpoint as another fellow shy kid.
Yeah, I think my first best friend was this girl named Liberty. We're like
That's
we're
a
like
really cool
family
name.
friends. I know. Um, we're family friends and we like our friendship was different because we didn't live in the same place. So we only saw each other like every once in a while. But I think that like yeah, like also being shy, she was like very outgoing and like not to be like me, but like kind of bossy, which was like it wasn't an attribute I had at the time. So, but yeah, and it was definitely like a friendship where like we would cry like after leaving each other and stuff. And it was just like very pure.
Did you guys do that thing where one pretends to be asleep so that your parents would have to let you sleep over?
Yeah,
That's so funny. It's so funny to see so many parallels from people who grew up on different sides of the country, you know?
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, yeah, so much of it is just so, I feel like our, I feel like all of our conversations are going to be like, me too. Like, more on childhood friends.
I mean, I've had a lot of friendship breakups, so but I would say like it's mostly because from middle school to high school, I transferred schools. I went to a school out of district. So the friends I had, I mostly just drifted apart from. And but like at the end of it, like we changed so much because of our different environments, which I feel like that was like kind of a loss because even if I would try to reconnect, it was just like so hard to do it because we were just such different people.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I feel like I've experienced loss in that sense of like mourning like a friendship that I can't really like get back.
I haven't lost friendships because I transferred schools. I did transfer schools at a very young age, so it was like I don't even remember the names of those people
Yeah.
in that school. But I did have a lot of friendships, and I want to say in the later years, like high school specifically, where I was like, this person was a really bad friend, but sometimes they were really nice. Sometimes we did fun things together, you know, and I was like,
Yeah.
maybe I should reach out or maybe I should do this. But it's interesting to me because I just know because I grew up as a really shy kid and eventually I was kind of like, actually, no, I'm setting boundaries and that's not okay. I became the villain in some of their stories. I like,
Yeah.
and that's the hardest part because it's like when I finally learned to speak up for myself, I'm like became this awful person in their stories. Like they all don't talk to me because I said I didn't like this. Like, and that's crazy to me. So those are the only friendships I pine for. And I have to remind myself that like I'm like not the villain in anyone's story. So setting boundaries shouldn't do that, you know?
I feel like I definitely like experienced something similar in high school, which was like so like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Um, where like I had this friend where like looking back on it, she was not a good friend. But
Mhm.
like, okay, we go to the same college now, right? And we went to the same middle
Oh,
school, same high school, same college. So
wow.
I know, like, I still I still like pine for it because like we're so close in proximity, anyways.
Mhm.
Like, it feels like what happened sh just shouldn't like even matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I think in high school, I like within my friend group, I became like the person. I like kind of the villain, but like I would like speak up more about things and boundaries.
Yeah.
And that kind of made me like the uptight friend, I guess. Or like the nagging person. I don't know. Also in high school, I think I also really struggled with like being left out of things. So I would just be hyper vigilant about like what everyone was doing.
I think that's what that reminds me. That's I think that was the TikTok that I saw where it was like being hyper vigilant of like what people are doing because like you don't get to be that like, oh, we're just friends, we're just hanging out. Yay. Like you're
Hmm.
kind of like, oh, you guys went to go do that? Oh,
Yeah.
you guys didn't invite me? You didn't think about asking me? Oh,
Yeah.
well, for me, it was a lot of like, well, you never do anything. Well, your mom
Mm,
never let you go. And I'm like, that's not true. You just have to let me know ahead of time, not, hey, we're here, you
yeah.
know? And that, yeah, I think that's what did it for me too, because that really, being a shy kid, like all you want is to be included. You just
Mm.
want people to want to be your friend. And personally, it felt like all the friendships that I really had were ones that I had fought to keep. And
Yeah, yeah,
I
definitely.
it didn't make me feel cared for. Um,
Mm.
and I think I accepted it for so long because I wanted friends. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, yeah. So that was the TikTok I saw where I was like, actually, wow, this is what I've never heard someone be able to put it into words. You know, like the
Yeah.
idea's always been there. I just never had the words for it.
I feel like in high school, but like especially now, like certain things have happened in my personal life that like not being like considered by like the people in my life
Yeah.
and like them just like not like I guess like not thinking ahead about like how certain things will like affect my feelings.
If anything, it just, I don't know. For me personally, it's almost like healing to hear someone else go through very similar concepts,
Hmm.
different
Yeah.
things that they like kind of have to find their way out of, or oops, their way out of, or acceptance through and with,
Hmm.
because it does feel while you're going through it, it feels like one of those things that's like no one in the world has ever experienced what I've experienced. No one in the world has
Hmm.
ever had to like fight for friends to stay friends with them, you know?
Yeah.
So seeing other, see, that's why I think social media is evil and I think it's bad for our mental health. And in some ways, I feel like when we say, wow, this is going to be so good for everyone, these are the kind of ideas that people thought would happen. People would find connection, people would find
Hmm.
moments of relation to other people, to perfect strangers, and it would help them almost heal in ways.
Yeah. Because I do think on the internet, like a lot of nuance can be lost. Um, like there's like I feel like on the topic of friendship right now, like there's a pretty like dominant like narrative about like people who can't sustain long-lasting friends, like there's something wrong with them. And that always like makes me really annoyed because that's not true. Like obviously, um, there's a whole bunch of like reasons why you wouldn't have long-lasting friendships.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like it just like I don't know, like that kind of like those narratives become very like dominant like in the space that like other like conversations get kind of lost.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think I see a lot, only content I see about friendships are like, how come it is so hard to make friends as an adult? And then the other
Hmm.
ones are like, what are you talking about? These are my friends, and we've been friends since high school. I do see a lot, which is another thing I saw on your page, of people who are this is how I act around this group of friends, and this is how I act around this group of friends. And a meme that I saw for a while was like when you bring out friend group B personality and friend group A. Um, and so yeah, one of your speaking challenges I think was about that too, about needing that separate space where you can be creative on your own and not worry about even being embarrassed maybe or
I feel like that's not a bad thing. I
Mhm.
mean, because I feel like especially like when like you're an adult, you have to have like separate spaces. Because something I was like I've been seeing like a lot is that like there's a difference between like friendship and community.
Okay.
And so like build a community, you have to have like a lot of different spaces for the different parts of your identity.
Mm.
Um, because I feel like something sometimes like I do, especially in my adulthood, is that like I want like a group of friends to put like everything onto when that's like not always realistic.
Mm.
And often the people I meet, like every individual friend is so different that it's like for separate things. Like I don't have like a friend group, and it's not necessarily like a bad thing, but like I do think that's just like kind of how like building a community or like having friendship in adulthood is like how it kind of has to work.
I That is really interesting. I don't think I ever like considered the word community, like in college even. Community was not a word that I would say that really crossed my mind ever, unless it was like a physical community. I live in this town, this is my community, you
Hmm.
know? And I feel like
Yeah.
for me it has shifted so much because there was a there was always a pine for like community. I really did crave a sense of community. I watched a lot of YouTubers like I'm gonna butcher her name so bad. Hitomi, is that her name? Do you know who I'm talking about?
I think, yeah, yeah.
She has such a beautiful energy and she has this like solid group of like other women that she hangs out with and they go hiking and they'll live in this like little
Hmm.
hostel for a week or they'll be in the mountain, you know? And I was always
Hmm.
like, how are people making friends as adults? Like that is so crazy to me. I feel so guilty for having been such a shy person because if you message me and I don't message back for a week, sometimes I'm like, I waited too long and now I can never message you back because you're going to be like, no, you don't message back. Even though no adult is going to do that. No one,
Yeah.
unless you're like in a relationship with this person, you just ghost them, you know? Like, no one's really going to do that if you're honest and you're like, hey, this is what's going on, or hey, my bad, even, you know, like a little
Yeah.
explanation. And I find that like I feel like I have a strong sense of community in the friendships I have because I I've learned that everything I'm experiencing is not a unique experience. Everything I'm experiencing, I can be like, like I'm struggling with like feeling comfortable in my own body because it's getting to the
Hmm.
colder months and I won't get out as much. And I can have friends who are like you could think like, wow, they never struggle with things like this and they're like, that's not true. Like I also feel
Yeah.
that way and here's how I get through this or here like even hearing them say that they acknowledge what you're going through is kind of healing for the like inner
Hmm.
shy little Christina, you know, because
Yeah.
there are things you're like afraid to. I don't know. I'm easily embarrassed, or I was, especially as a child. And I think that comes with being shy because you're like, well, I'm just going to be quiet because no one can embarrass me in that way. Afraid of like being embarrassed. And I was afraid of like being seen really and being seen trying
Yeah.
and then trying and failing. And so
Hmm.
to now have friends who are like, I've been through the same thing, or even have friends that are like, wow, I've never even heard of that, but wow, thank you for sharing. Like getting comfortable with being seen now is such a big part in my community. And so we don't have someone who's, you know, laying eggs and someone who's growing vegetables and someone who's building a house. And it's not that yet, but maybe in the future, everyone will be doing like these actual labor tasks and building a community like I would have considered what a community was when I was a child, you know?
Hmm.
Maybe one day in the far future, you know, no time soon. I don't know, maybe we'll all just get a like a homestead and we'll get a plot of land, you know, everyone's got their tiny
Yeah.
house on it. But I think community has shifted so drastically from what I would have thought it was as a child to now. And I'm not upset about it. If anything, I feel like it's much more achievable being through friendships for me, at least, you know. And it might also shift for you in the years too, because you have like an actual space of community. Like you go to a campus, you know, like that's like a
Hmm.
physical
Yeah.
space you're all at. And
Yeah.
um, what advice would you give to fellow shy people growing up?
Um, what
or
advice?
even or even young Delaney. Like if you can go back in time and see younger you at their peak shyness.
Uh, um, probably, I don't like, I was gonna say like it doesn't matter, but like that's so like rough. I would say like I I would probably say something like I wish I could like instill like how like time works, I guess, or like basically that like I feel like old people like not old people like older people tell you this all the time about like how like time moves faster, like things are temporary
Hmm.
and you don't ever realize it until after and then you're looking back. I feel like I would just say that like even if like I did embarrass myself or like um I feel like my main fear sometimes is like the fear of being like ridiculed like in front of like a lot of people and then like that like changing people's perception of me, almost like a fear of being weak, I guess, or a fear of being seen of being weak. And I feel like I would just like I would want to tell myself that like it doesn't matter and like it's much more worth it to just live life than to be so preoccupied about what others are thinking.
What are you doing now in your life to be okay with being ridiculed?
I mean, posting on social media has helped me a lot. That's
Yeah.
kind of like why I started it. Um, and then I don't know what else. It's kind of like a journey I'm starting. We'll see how the next year goes. I'm gonna be studying abroad, so that's
Studying
definitely gonna
abroad, where
put.
are you going?
I'm going to Italy. I'm going to Rome.
Oh my God, it's gonna be gorgeous. I just know it.
I know, like I'm for sure gonna be a completely different person
Yeah.
in regards to this. So yeah.
Wow. Wow, Italy. That's gonna change your content. Get a camcorder. Get a camcorder.
Bruh.
A cheap $150 camcorder, secondhand off eBay. Just even the like opportunity to travel somewhere totally different, the opportunity to
Hmm.
travel is going to be so like fundamental to like inner and outer shifts in your life.
Yeah.
Um, wow. Okay. I'm so excited that I'm already subscribed and following along because I just know the art that you're going to create out of this is going to be so like, it's going to be
I know
wow.
it's gonna be so exciting.
Wow.
That's also why I started content too, because I knew I would be traveling and I wanted to like have more knowledge of the skills to like document it like the way I wanted.
How do you think content creating has changed or shifted your mind around your inner child, if at all?
Um, I feel like maybe I think content creation is like shifting like my self-concept. I don't know why like sometimes like being shy, like I would feel like what I have to say is like not important in a way or like
Hmm.
it like didn't really matter. But I think now like articulating like things that are important to me on like social media like helps me see that like oh like I do actually have things to talk about or like I am actually really passionate about things and like it can like mean things to people and I feel like I don't know being shy like I would always like compare the way I articulate things to other people who are more outgoing and like can say what they want like easily.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it's giving me like more like I guess confidence like in myself and my voice.
Wow, that is so real. Wow, yeah. Talking about things that you're like, no one else is going to care about this. It helps you find the people that do care about it.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
like you
Yeah.
have people who watch your content, and I mean, I haven't seen any posts of yours that get like zero likes or zero, and I'm sure it will happen sometimes, but I think people tend to like it's all an algorithm, whether it's on TikTok or YouTube or
Hmm.
even in our lives. Like we find the things that we're already interested in or the things that we're
Hmm.
experiencing. We find people who have similar experiences. Maybe not right away, like if I'm into, I don't know, knitting, I don't find
Hmm.
TikTok videos of knitting right away on my feed, but over time it's like, oh, you're interested in this? Here's more of it. And I think it's the same thing in our lives. Like we find people who have similar experiences and we connect with them. And the more we connect with those people, we find other people who have similar experiences, other
Hmm.
people who were shy or other people who felt, whether not presenting as shy, they felt things that you've gone through and they watch your content and they are like, wow, I feel seen as well.
Hmm.
Have you ever used the immersive setting? It says like, how do you want to record it? Speaker, gallery, multi-speaker, or immersive?
I know.
I don't want it to like,
I've never heard
oh,
of that actually.
oh, let me show you. I don't know if it'll let me take it off after, but I'll show you what it looks like now. Do you see it? Do you see it? Like
Yeah,
that is
that's
so
so funny.
crazy. Okay, let me
What,
see.
we're in a lecture hall.
What is this one? Hello, class. Welcome.
Wow. This
Wow,
is,
that is,
do people actually use this?
I don't know, but it's kind of fun. What is this one? Oh, that one's boring. What is this one? Oh, see, this is what we should have done. Hi, welcome to my coffee
Oh,
shop. What can I get you? What are you
what is
doing
it?
on this side of the counter? Customers have to be in front. Come on. Wow, that was cool. I'm gonna leave that, but I don't know what I was expecting. It wasn't that. I thought it was gonna blend our images like on top of each
Yeah,
other, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. But wow, that
blend
was
our voices together.
would have been something good for harmonizing, I bet. I'm so excited to see what kind of content you create in the near future. And I mean
Mm.
like tomorrow, boom, hit the ground running.
Mm.
But I did hear a quote from who's that guy who pretends to be Elvis and he like says his voice hasn't changed back then? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
He played Elvis in a movie and he's like,
Oh,
"Oh, my voice hasn't changed back. I just have to sound like
what?
Elvis
Jacob
forever."
Elordi?
No, 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 the other Elvis movie. But that guy, he
Really?
pretends
You haven't seen Priscilla?
Austin, nope, Austin Butler, that's his name. Austin Butler. I wrote it down somewhere. Let me find it. Embarrassment
It's
is an
the price of
underexplored
success.
emotion. What?
Really?
Embarrassment is an
That's
underexplored
interesting.
emotion. Go out there and make a fool of yourself.
Mm.
I was like, that's good. I hate being embarrassed. And I talk about this a lot in a lot of my content too. I hate being embarrassed. And I have like all of the really defining moments of my life that have made me feel like I have to like go back into my shell have been caused by embarrassment. But like embarrassment is an underexplored emotion. Like I'm having fun when I'm making a fool of myself. I just wouldn't allow myself to have fun in front of other people, which is a problem. So yeah, I thought that, but I have heard that too, right? Embarrassment is your entry ticket. Yeah,
Hmm.
I think they're both good. Are you still blogging?
I made one earlier this summer, but I haven't really been consistent with it.
I heard Substack is coming into a wave where like people
Yeah,
are
me too.
making lots of money. I mean, I missed out on the TikTok thing and everyone became
Yeah,
really, really, everyone who was consistent, I will say, seemingly everyone who was consistent became very
I was thinking
well
about that, but
on
I'm not
there.
like I'm Substack is like writers though,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm not like a writer, so I don't know.
Well, thank you for being the first guest. You're not actually the first. I lied. My cat has been on my videos a few times. So technically, my cats are my first guest. You're the first human guest though. So thank you for being willing and for sharing your insight.
Of course.